Came across a list of 10 things men shouldn't do after they turn 30. I'm well into my 30s, and that's an understatement. Coming up on my final year.
Yeah, if we round up, you're definitely 40. If we're rounding up here.
38.7. I think that's where I'm at right now. Anyway, I don't like these lists. They're so judgy.
I know, like, who's writing this?
Exactly.
Who's hired
Who's
to
perfect?
do this?
Okay, so here, let me get into this. Eating fast food. Apparently, you're not supposed to do that after you're 30. Listen,
well, yeah.
I know, like, a strict diet can be very important for a lot of people. I know that a diet of just fast food will lead to early death, but you can eat some fast food no matter what age you are.
Here or there.
My dad loves KFC once in a while. Go get it, man. You know, you work
KFC
hard.
night growing up was the best. My parents were probably what? They were probably 38 at that time when we get a bucket.
Exactly. Okay, so let's eliminate that one. Driving recklessly. Now, okay, hard to argue with that, but it's like, oh, this is just something you should just do in your 20s.
Well, luckily you drive very slow.
Thank you. I am
too slow.
When I am driving recklessly, I feel like I'm more prepared for the road now than I was when I was 20. I was dumb when I was 20. I think I can drive recklessly and not get in an accident now, so I want to eliminate that from the list.
Okay.
Playing video games obsessively. Why not? This is the first year I've ever put in, like, probably on average an hour a day into bed.
With the game that you're playing right now, you have to log in every day, right? Isn't that how they get you?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like an NHL thing where you're building a team and you get like daily rewards.
But I know men that are well into their 40s that are obsessed with Call of Duty. They play all the time.
I see it. Like, our roommate Grant put in about a 7-hour shift into Call of Duty on Saturday, and I was like, okay, man.
So why can't men in their 30s play video games? What are they supposed to be doing? Like, making furniture in the garage?
Yeah.
Who's doing that when you could just buy it on Kijiji these days?
I'd play a video game where you build furniture. Next up, live in a metaphorical dorm room. And don't have pictures of Budweiser girls.
We don't want flags on the walls.
Okay, so that one I can actually agree with. Try to have a nice space.
I got our roommate. We're just going to be throwing our roommate under the bus this entire break. I bought him some candles for his basement. He hasn't lit them. I'm like, dude, I didn't buy them for you to just look at. Please. Please light
Get
these.
them going. Get a tattoo. Now, let me word this.
What?
As we go through this stupid list of things that men aren't supposed to do after they're 30, it says you're going to be hard-pressed to explain how body modification fit into your thoughtful adult considerations if you get one after turning 30.
I don't like this person, especially because all the tattoos I hate are from when I was 19.
Right.
Those are the bad ones.
Again, like driving recklessly, I feel like I'm better at choosing tattoos in my 30s.
Rod just texted into our show saying only 7 hours. Those are rookie numbers for gaming over a weekend.
Fair enough.
I want to actually know right now, if there are men over the age of 30 listening, what's your streak?
Like the longest video game sesh you've had?
We got to debunk this list. It's totally okay for you to be gaming.
Binge drinking is on the list. Obviously, if you do it too much, it's an issue, but who doesn't like to throw down?
Especially on a long weekend or something, right? Like
living paycheck to paycheck is on the list of things men shouldn't do in their 30s. Way she goes. Ever heard of child support payments? And finally, dressing like a slob. Who do I have to impress in my 30s?
I haven't bought a new shirt or pants or underwear in God knows how long.
I'll tell you one thing. I would never hang out with the person who wrote this. It's time for Recommend Something. Forrest hit us up and said he's been using a straight razor lately and highly recommends it to get to learn how to use one good. I asked if he'd be willing to show me, but on my back.
That sounds fun. That sounds like a fun first time ever hanging out with a listener date idea. Okay.
Awkward.
Okay, so I have a recommendation. Maybe this is really lame to some people, but I think I've discovered the best chips. Nothing is better than Dutch Crunch sea salt and malt vinegar.
Nothing. It's a quality chip.
Don't come after me with this, oh, Miss Vicky's. No, trust me. I was a big Miss Vicky's fan. I still am. My whole life, I always chose those salt and vinegar chips every time. but Ryder bought the Dutch Crunch, and I crushed an entire bag.
I usually just get whatever's on sale because quite often there's a good deal in the chip aisle somewhere. So my mouth is watering thinking of the sea salt and malt vinegar chips.
Why are they so much better than any other salt and vinegar chip I've ever had? There's something about them. It's the
malt vinegar, not the white
vinegary.
Vinegar. Yeah, real good.
Like I suck on them.
When I was little, I used to think salt and vinegar chips were disgusting. And like there was one kid in my class, Joel, who ate them all the time, and he'd always have like salt and vinegar around his mouth.
Right.
And he just stunk like vinegar all the time. And I was like, you smell like somebody who has recently like lost a limb and they've loaded up with antibacterial
wipes.
Well, like you just, that clean vinegar smell.
I love it.
But it kind of smells like a hospital.
I would hang out with Joel. The other thing about salt and vinegar chips too is you sweat so much it's like you just did a workout. So that's my recommendation.
Especially when you eat the whole bag in 6 minutes.
Dude, the Dutch Crunch sea salt and malt vinegar. You'll see the bag. It's black on the top. It's aqua on the bottom. Mm-hmm. Whoa.
Okay, my recommendation actually comes from that same grocery trip where I
really
decided I wanted to try an eggplant pasta. Now, the pasta's not made of eggplant. It's just one of the ingredients in the pasta.
I've never tried eggplant.
Right. So I'm planning on doing this. I haven't done it yet. But I'd just like to recommend getting yourself an eggplant because of what they're associated with emojis now.
Okay.
It's just funny seeing it on the counter. And I had a great weekend because every time I walked by the kitchen, I'd go, eggplant.
My story comes to us from Thailand. There was a dad, 37-year-old. What's his name? Let me just scroll up 1 second. Hachai is his name. He said he had a weird dream of an old man wearing white with a long mustache that came to him at night and told him to go to the beach and receive a gift.
And it was Colonel Sanders.
No.
Okay.
But he didn't really think anything of it until a couple days later, him and his sons were going out trying to find pearls on the beach from shells. And he found one that is the size of a quarter, and it's worth 10 million baht, so over $300,000.
Whoa.
And he thinks that it was the guy that came to him in his dream to help him and his family.
Incredible story.
So cool, right?
Tell me something good.
My story is about a young girl who decided to do something for her community. She got very involved with the homeless population and realized one of the ongoing struggles was footwear. So she started Shoes for Souls charitable outreach program that collects and distributes shoes for people in need. And it's just absolutely taken off. She's now rehomed 30,000 plus pairs of gently used shoes.
Whoa.
I know that Yes is always looking for footwear. Here in Edmonton, the Youth Empowerment Society, something else with an S in there. Anyway, look them up, YESS, if you have some shoes that you'd like to donate.
Perfect.
Tell me something good.
Alexis wrote in saying, changing the battery in my smoke detector. It's been beeping every 5 or so minutes since I moved into this place 3 months ago.
A little bit dangerous. I would work on that.
But that's what we're talking about right now. Like, what's something you're a rule breaker?
Yeah, I have a dangerous one. You know, when they tell you, like, hey, come back in 100 kilometers and we'll re-torque your wheels, like after you put your winter tires on or your summer tires on. I don't know if I've ever gone back in 100 kilometers.
I hate return appointments.
Yeah, my dentist does that. Where every time it's like, well, we're going to have to book you in again because we didn't get a chance to finish. I'm like, well, why didn't you just, like, give me 15 more minutes on this appointment and finish?
I actually just canceled a checkup appointment, too, myself. I was like, I don't need to. I clicked the number 2. You know when they send you a text, they're like, write back 1 if you want to confirm, 2 if you're canceling. I was like, I don't feel like it, 2. Janice wrote in saying, I buy paper plates so I never have to do dishes. Janice.
Janice.
Rule breaker.
Well, anytime the server brings me a plate, if it's like one of those hot plates or whatever deal, they always say, careful, the plate's hot. And I'll always look her right in the eye, touch the plate and burn my hand. When they look at me, they're like, why would you do that? I told you it's hot. And I say, well, just seeing if you're a liar or not.
It's worth the burn.
Yeah, you know what? I'm always tempted to at least just touch it and see like how hot it is.
Yeah, how
you
are
got
we
to.
talking?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks very much for the call, Andy. Appreciate it.
Darlene wrote in saying, change my pillowcase every 3 months. Or sorry, change my pillows every 3 months. Is that a thing?
What?
I've had the same pillow since I was like 12.
I've got another one.
Okay.
Things that you're supposed to do that you don't do.
All right.
Singing happy birthday.
You never sing happy birthday?
I always try to like get in the back and I'll just like mouth along, but I don't like group singing that much.
See, that's my dream. I love when there's a group happy birthday song. If I could like break out into Broadway musicals on like public transit and have everyone sing along, I'd love it.
It's because of people like you that I don't really like the whole process. Unsung Heroes, where we give shout outs to people, places, and things that don't always get the attention they deserve. Lisa?
It is really important to use SPF moisturizer every day, even if it's overcast. So shout out to Daily SPF Moisturizer. Always seems like a good idea until you get some in your eye. Have you ever got SPF in your eyeball before?
For sure. Every time I try to use the spray can. Shout out to my mask, which I accidentally put in my dog treat pocket. Now my face smells like duck livers. Yum.
That's how you know that you're a good dog owner. When all of your jackets have one pocket full of treats.
Yeah.
Shout out to that person that you might have hooked up with once, like 10 years ago, for taking time out of their day to say happy birthday on your Facebook wall.
Shout out to our music survey at play107.com for offering up $250 to someone who fills it out. I guess the boss wants to hear others' opinions on the music we play.
Hey.
Weird, though, because he seems really annoyed when I walk by his office and say, more Biggie, every day.
He'll listen to you, though. Play107.com. Make it happen. Shout out to chipmunks. I've never seen one. Are they a figment of our imagination, or are they just squirrels with nuts in their mouths? Have you ever seen a chipmunk?
Well, I don't know. So
I know.
You're onto something there.
Did you know that the squirrels in Calgary are black? And they look like cats? Did you know that?
No, that was a cat.
No, I don't think it was. Google Calgary squirrels. It'll blow your mind.
Shout out to much warmer weather this week. Will probably be windy, though, says your negative coworker.
Shout out to using the mask as an excuse as to why I have acne on my chin, when in reality, all I eat are cream-based foods. I haven't had water in 3 months, and last night I ate a block of cheese for dinner.
And finally, shout out to thinking I had COVID this weekend because I was coughing out of nowhere. Then I realized I didn't, and it was just popcorn seasoning dust from eating it while laying on my back. I'm okay, everyone.
Good.
How you feeling today?
Better.
Okay. You had a migraine yesterday. Pretty bad one?
It was a bad one, but I'm trying to I'm trying to be optimistic and count my blessings because it's been a long time since I've had to spend an entire day in bed.
Can I just make this is dangerous. An observation I've noticed. You and I have been on like quite a bender as far as exercise goes. We have a challenge going that we just created a bet, you and I. Mm-hmm. And you haven't really had like a crippling migraine since the exercise regime started. Mm-hmm. And didn't you take Saturday off? You didn't exercise and then you got a migraine on Sunday?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know.
I don't know if that...
Is there something about, like, the adrenaline from exercise?
It could be anything, Ryder. Like, I've been getting migraines for over 15 years. I still don't know what triggers them. Is it because I didn't have enough coffee on Saturday?
Is that possible, too? Like,
the weather,
caffeine? Yeah, who knows?
The weather change, like, going from how cold it was to now saying it's going to be... What is it supposed to be this week? +7?
+7 all week, yeah.
It could be that.
Huh.
Could be hormones. Like, I don't have an answer.
And most people who get migraines really... They can round down a few things, but they don't know for sure, right?
Well, I posted, your daughter made me a little get well soon card yesterday and slipped it under the door, which was so cute, by the way. She put a Band-Aid on a card that she made and put a face on the Band-Aid and put a little quote that was like, get well soon, like the Band-Aid was talking to me. It was so adorable.
Does she know how expensive Band-Aids are?
Yeah, I know, right? I probably shouldn't have told you that. Anyway, I posted the picture of it on my Instagram story, and the amount of people that wrote me saying they also were struggling yesterday. So maybe it was like a weather thing. I'm not sure.
With the pressure of weather changes, does it? But also, I'm not saying that the exercise thing has anything to
I'm
do with it.
sure it helps.
But it is interesting that this is the first one that you've been bedridden for, and it's following a day that you didn't work out. I'm shaming you for not working out.
Yeah, thanks.
Shame.
I'm over here. I'm like, I have bed sores today. Even like Ryder looked at me at one point. He's like, it does look like you spent an entire day in bed yesterday. Like, can you shower, please?
No,
It's true.
it was joking. People are
Were
going to think
you?
I'm so mean. I was kidding. What shouldn't you order on a first date?
Now, this got us talking after a viral tweet from a woman named Alicia. It's got over 500,000 retweets. She wrote, yesterday I met a guy for coffee and he asked what I'd like to drink, so he went and fetched the order. When he came back, he had 2 cake pops. I was like, oh, that's cute, but then he ate them both in front of me.
Yes.
I got a direct message on Instagram a couple months ago from a woman that said, ever since I said on air that cake pops taste like someone already chewed them and then spit them back
That
out,
she can't eat them
that she
anymore.
can't eat them anymore.
She
So
was thanking you, I think,
Yeah, she's
for
like, thank
saving
you.
some calories. Hilarious. You had a first date story where you guys were trying to kind of figure out what you were going to eat.
yes, but I had to use the washroom, so I was like, I trust you. Just get me something good.
Because you were just meeting for appetizers.
Exactly. And when I came back and when the food was delivered, I wasn't there for the ordering process. It was just 7 pounds of wings.
So not much variety for food.
It must have been Wing Wednesday.
Were there different flavors?
Yes, there were
Okay.
different flavors. So, like, I wasn't mad at it, but I was like, that's interesting. Like, where's the cheese bread?
Nobody could afford to pay that full price.
True.
So it was definitely a wing night. And I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that.
No, totally not.
Call me in. I'll come finish
Call
those
me
for
in.
you.
I think it should be a rule of thumb that you should order like the most difficult thing to eat on the menu, because if you guys can handle each other at taco level, you can total handle each other at anything else.
All right, that's a good piece of advice. Our friend Jen was over this weekend for a fire, and she told us a story about a date that he ordered something that maybe he shouldn't have. We figured we'd just get her on to tell it, though. All right, fire away, Jen.
Okay, so I went on this first date, and it was later. It was about 7:30, 8 o'clock, so I'd already had dinner. And we get there, and the server asks, would you like anything to eat? And I was like, oh, no, I'm good, thanks. And then my date was like, oh, yes, definitely, I'm going to eat. And he orders nachos, and the server's like, the full nachos or like a small, like half order? And he's like, oh, no, like the full nachos. And this is at the brew house. Like, you know how the nachos come at the brew house on top of like a keg? Like, it took up the whole entire table.
Yeah, they're huge.
They're enormous.
Like, I even think for 2, that's too many nachos.
Yeah.
You get those for like a table of 4.
Yeah, that's a lot of nachos.
And plus,
And
if the date doesn't go well, it takes a long time to eat nachos too, right?
It didn't go well. It was one of my favorite stories to tell. I was always waiting for like a polite time to like get out of the date, but he just kept eating.
Hungry boy.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Bye.
Bye.
Ordering food on a first date can be a tricky thing. 780-784-7107. What's your move?
First date, I always go to a rib joint.
And just get real messy, eh?
Yeah, like if this is the kind of girl am I dating, like, are you going to sit there and pick at it? Because I ain't got time for none of that BS. She's got to be elbows deep.
Right.
I'm
And like
yeah,
ask it if she could clean your fingers off.
well, that's getting a little far, but maybe second date, you can clean a finger off or two.
Okay, thanks for the comment.
Later.
Okay, I'm still with my boyfriend now to this day, almost 2 years later, and I order a taco salad. And it's not something I would normally order because I'm not a huge fan of salad. And then, like, I don't know, a month later, we go out for dinner again. He's like, do you want a salad? And I'm like, no, I don't like salad. He's like, the first thing you ordered on our first date was a salad. I'm like, I was just trying to impress you, and look at us today. We're together 2 years
Still
later
works.
almost.
I love that you did like the hybrid kind of salad, though, because a taco salad is so good.
It's probably one of the, it's good, but it's probably one of the messiest things you
Yeah.
can do.
Uh-oh. You've noticed something about your Fitbit that's a little counterproductive.
Yeah, so it will buzz on my wrist when I haven't had enough steps that hour.
Okay.
So it always happens when there's 10 minutes left in the hour.
And is this like a 24-hour thing? No.
It's like I set goals. So between 7 a.m. and like 4 p.m., I try and get a certain amount of steps. So it's going to buzz literally in 2 minutes because it's 8:48 right now. And it'll say, you need 100 more steps to win the hour. But every time it does that, I get up and I just go get a snack.
Okay.
I'll get up and go to the kitchen. And I'm like, I don't know if this is what I should be doing with my 100 steps.
And then you're just jogging in a spot while you're looking through the
Eating
fridge.
Oreos while I'm jogging on the spot.
Nice.
Yeah.
And like the movement of your hand as you bring up the cheese to eat the cheese string.
Exactly.
Thinks you're jogging. If you eat fast enough, would it count as like an exercise, like a workout?
I'm not sure, but some Fitbits they're a bit more touchy than others. My parents both got Fitbits, and then they had a competition with who could have more steps. And my dad, they were driving somewhere once, and my mom was like tapping her arm along with the beat of the song, but she knew it was giving her steps, and my dad caught her. He caught her. He was like, "Oh, I see what you're doing. That's why you keep winning."
Wasn't there one that we heard a friend they thought that she was swimming and she was doing something else?
It was when you and I went out with one of our listeners, Heidi, because she works at a retirement home, and we went out on Christmas and danced for all of the people that live in the retirement home outside with a boombox. And her dance moves were moving her arms up and down like a swimmer.
That's
and then she said when she got home, she's like, it said I had an hour and a half of swimming.
Amazing. There is a viral response that Jonah Hill had to some paparazzi pics of him that were published recently.
Yeah, and it's fantastic.
Okay, so what's happening in the picture?
So it's Jonah Hill going out for a surf day in Malibu. And so there's one of him on his actual surfboard and then another one of him shirtless. And the paparazzi saying he's toweling himself off, showing off his tattoos. So like, whatever. It's a celebrity. They're pulling at strings here, trying to get some content. But he actually screenshot it and put it on his Instagram and wrote, I don't think I ever took my shirt off in a pool until I was in my mid-30s, even in front of family and friends. Probably would have happened sooner if my childhood insecurities weren't exuberated by years of public mockery about my body by press and interviewers. So the idea that the media tries to play me by stalking me while surfing and printing photos like this and it can't faze me anymore is dope. I'm 37 and finally love and accept myself. This isn't a good for me post, and it's definitely not a feel bad for me post. It's for the kids who don't take their shirt off at the pool. Have fun. You're wonderful and awesome and perfect. All my love. Oh, and to the Daily Mail, not even you can take that smile from my face.
Wow. That's a powerful response.
Honestly.
Because, like, I remember somebody saying in an interview to him, like, it's good that you've lost weight, but a lot of people are saying you're not as funny when you're not fat. And he's like, that's the meanest thing you could say to me.
Right.
It's just literally, I've worked so hard to lose this weight, and now you're telling me that I'm not as good at my profession because of it?
You made fun of me before when I was overweight. That I can't ever win.
He's had it hard. And he's one of the few males in comparison to the amount of females that deal with this on the regular too. So,
but it's very important for men to speak up as well.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah, 100%. And I get it. Like, I get where he's coming from. I did one trip to Cancun where I don't think I went in the pool or the ocean the whole time,
right?
Because I was self-conscious about my man boobs at the time.
So it'd be nice if you saw this post maybe before that trip.
Exactly. Because now I'm like, I just get them out and get them all wet.
I like the shimmy shake you did there.
Thanks.
While you're saying that.
Rebecca from Frederick and Company Limited joins us. They're a local boutique firm that helps people with their debt move from financial distress to financial success. How do you do that, Rebecca?
By educating people. We really feel like the decision is theirs to make, and they just need the information to be able to make an educated, informed decision. So we offer a free initial consultation that covers off a bunch of options, 7 or 8. We ultimately want to make sure that they're educated about each of those options, what the pros and cons are, what the monetary cost would be, how much is it going to cost out of their pocket, but also, with bankruptcy and proposal, there's a cost to your credit rating as well that has to be considered. And so we kind of lay all that out so that someone can do an apples to apples comparison of options and ultimately make an educated, informed choice about where they want to go next.
Well, what a powerful tool to provide people with the education to make the best decision for themselves.
Well, and also, like, there's so much anxiety with meetings. If you're not really comfortable, you don't really know what's going on, having someone that you can trust who then gives you this information and you just run with it, I think that's amazing.
Where can people find you, Rebecca?
Online, you can find us at fcdebtfree.ca. We are located in Sherwood Park, but right now we're doing everything remotely, so we can meet people, over the phone or by video and cover everything off that way. So you don't even have to leave the comfort of your own home to really get some answers.
Well, it feels like a bit of the if you give a man a fish rather than...
Wait, what's the line?
Let me say that again.
If you feed a man a fish... What is it?
If you go fishing with a guy and you give him your fish, it's not as good as if you teach him how to fish. Something like that.
That's right. That's exactly it.
Right. I just think it's so awesome that you're giving people, like I said, the power to make the best decision for themselves. And I'm sorry, did you say the consultation is free?
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah, there's no cost. I mean, we don't want to sell anybody on anything. We don't want to feel like they're coming and there's a product placed in front of them that they've got to pick. It's a free initial consultation. There's no obligation. It's just come and get some information.
The difference between Frederick and Company and a national insolvency agency would be what?
They technically do the same work that we do. I feel like people aren't going to feel like a number or, lost in the shuffle with us because we have a small team. Each of us know what's happening on most file on any given day. And so we can really give that personalized service, that helps us to stand out from the crowd. We don't have utilization and realization and kind of pushes to meet certain numbers. We have a culture of helping people. We just want to help people. And if I can help you by helping you understand that you can afford this and to budget accordingly and you leave without having filed a bankruptcy proposal, then that is a success to me. And so I think that may be a little bit different too.
When I was researching your company a bit, I read something about RRSPs being protected from creditors. Is that true?
Yeah, it is. And there's other assets that are protected from creditors as well. Life insurance, a certain amount of equity in your home. And what's really kind of unfortunate is situations where people redeem or get rid of those assets in hopes of being able to pay off their creditors instead of kind of coming and making a plan with us. Because, to call us is a courageous step. It's hard to say I need some help,
Right.
And I totally get that. And we applaud anyone that, that gives us a call and reaches out because that is truly the hardest step that you're going to take. And we strive to kind of make the rest of the process of learning about what your options are so much easier. But yeah, so anyways, what can end up happening is that people end up redeeming RSPs, not realizing that, in a bankruptcy, they would be protected from their creditors. They wouldn't have to give them up. And so everyone thinks bankruptcy is the worst case scenario, but, I would argue that it's not. I'd argue that getting rid of all of your assets that you could have kept in a bankruptcy and then still having to file for bankruptcy anyways is actually the worst case scenario because you're kind of now at ground zero. Mm-hmm. You don't have any retirement funds and you truly are kind of a disadvantaged position, right?
Well, and how important for people to know that when going through some of the biggest struggles of their life. It's all about that empowerment from education. So big ups to what you're doing. And can you just tell us how people can get a hold of you one more time?
Yeah, absolutely. If they want to check out our website, we've got some testimonials on there, some information about proposals and bankruptcies, and just kind of all that information is fcdebtfree.ca, or they can give us a call at 587-269-3009.
Amazing. Thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us, Rebecca.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Ryder and Lisa.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai.
Play 107.